Hi everyone, I'm Heben.
I'm Tracy.
And welcome to another round with Heben and Tracy.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Yay! Why are you so excited, Trace?
Because I get to bear witness to one of my favorite marriages, you and Jaime Camil.
Oh my God, if you don't know y'all, he plays Rogelio de la Vega on my favorite show, Jane the Virgin.
Nice.
He's a very handsome man.
And he's in love with Heben.
We did get married. I'm very excited to share our marriage and our love with you all.
It was a beautiful Twitter ceremony.
It was.
It was lovely.
It was an Instagram ceremony, thank you.
Retweets everywhere. Oh, sure.
But also in this episode, our producer, Antonia Cerejito, is taking us on a journey through Latin pop. Mm-hmm. There was a moment in like the late 90s, I think specifically in 1999, where there was just this moment where Latin artists are having their quote-unquote crossover moment.
Yeah.
Jaime himself was in that moment as a singer, and I'm very excited to share his music with you all. And we're going to throw some incredible pictures in the newsletter.
Yes. Even in like regular like black ass artists, there was just like so many like Latin themed songs.
Yeah, it was a moment.
It was. I'm excited to revisit it.
Yes.
Let's do
get
it.
Into it.
So in honor of Jaime Camil being here and to pay homage and tribute to his amazing pop star career that he had in the 90s, we are welcoming to the other side of the microphone in the studio our producer, Antonia Cerejito. You may have heard her name in the credits in past episodes. Hi, Antonia.
Hi, Tracy. Thanks for saying my name right every week. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. So we're going to talk about the history of Latin pop artists crossing over here in the United States, and we're going to talk about what crossing over, quote unquote, actually means, because we've got some theories.
We do. I come from an Argentinian family, and every time Latin pop music has gotten big in the US, I get so excited. I'm like, yes, this is like our chime. And then inevitably no one listens to it anymore. So
do you find that this happens in waves?
Yes. And actually, I've done some research over the years, and it's really interesting because the waves are always tied to literal migration waves.
Really?
Yes. So, for instance, in the 50s, remember Rosie the Riveter?
Yes.
And like how all the men in World War II went to the war and women all of a sudden were working in the factories. During that time, they also started this thing called the Bracero program, which was huge. It brought a ton of Mexican farm workers specifically to the U.S., like tons of them. And then a song that you may recognize became super, super popular.
And this is in the 50s?
Yes. To be exact, the year 1958.
La Bamba.
La Bamba.
La Bamba, te necesito una poca de gracia.
Look at that accent, Tracy.
Didn't know I could do that, did ya?
La Bamba is probably the most famous crossover ever. And so it's like a kind of like the first big like taste of what Latinos are like and what music they listen to, and it being kind of more popular in the US. So La Bamba, obviously classic. And then we're going to like skip a little bit ahead in time when a different song became really popular. Let's see if you remember this one.
Okay.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga.
Oh, I know this song.
Any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Gloria Estefan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
She's like considered the queen of the crossover. Like she is like, there's jokes that she like runs all of Miami, her and her husband Emilio, also from the Miami Sound Machine. And they're Cuban. So they came during the Cuban Revolution because their families were anti-castristas.
And that was another big migration.
The 80s were like finally the start of like it becoming, so it wasn't just like a one-hit wonder here and there, like one character on TV. Like finally, like this like Latin sound started becoming more and more popular in the US. Okay, and so we're gonna skip more stuff, like the Macarena happened, which was obviously huge, and like Bill Clinton danced it, which was like a big deal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, don't look up that video or
I'm gonna do it very soon.
But then, of course, 1999 is the year of
Ricky Martin.
Yes!
Oh my God, this song was everywhere. Take your clothes off and go dance in the rain.
Also, I think that, like, objectively, Ricky Martin is the most handsome man on the planet.
Wow.
Objectively.
And you say this knowing that Tom Hanks exists. Wow.
I don't think anyone is going to disagree with me that Ricky Martin is better looking than Tom Hanks.
You know what? We all have our opinions. It's fine. It's fair. We disagree.
But, like, Ricky Martin's face is, like, perfect.
He does have a very symmetrical face, which is key to, like, finding somebody attractive. You're right.
And I just, like, think that his whole trajectory in life is beautiful, and I'm so proud of him. And I get emotional thinking about Ricky Martin.
Aw.
He's just so cute. But yeah, Ricky Martin was huge. J-Lo was huge. Enrique.
Yes.
His, like, big hit was...
I really enjoy Mark Anthony in this music.
Mark Anthony has, like, one of the best voices ever. Anyway, 1999, huge year, very important, arguably one of the most important years of my life. And all of this paved the way for the real hero, Mi Reina. Tracy, if you don't know this song...
Okay. I do know this song. I'm not a fan. But I like it. I mean, I just told you a lot. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do right now. How can I fix this?
Here's the thing.
I'm not talking about her, just that particular song.
Oh, you don't like that song?
Yeah.
So you like Shakira?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, we just escaped her.
The thing about Shakira that is so amazing that I totally understand why a lot of people in the US might not understand is that she is totally bizarro.
Okay, how do you mean?
Like, you can sort of get a hint of that with, like, the lyric, lucky that my breasts are small and humble so you don't confuse them with mountains.
Lucky that my lips not only mumble, they spill kisses like a fountain. Lucky that my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains.
For me, was so empowering to see, like, a woman speaking in Spanish being considered super sexy, but also, like, you know, oftentimes the Latina bombshell is like charro or some, like, thing that's all like chi-chi-chi and, like, shaking their boobs. And, like, even though she was shaking her boobs, she was doing it in an empowered way and in, like, this way where she talked so honestly about her body and who she was. She is still, like, my comfort music. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I put on, like, Shakira's earlier stuff, not just this, even though I loved Whenever, Wherever.
What's your favorite Shakira self-care song?
I really like Ciega Sorda Muda. Even her later stuff, like, she gets a lot of hate and people say that she became, like, too pop, too sexy, too commercial. But, like, even as recently as 2010, so that was, like, 6 years ago, she put out a song called Loca, which I don't know if you remember it.
No, I never
But
heard
it's
it.
like, I'm crazy, but you like it. Loca, loca, loca. And, like, it's so, like, she's just so fun. I don't know.
I would like to briefly talk about a song that she put out. It's the song She Wolf. Are you familiar? Okay. That to this day is the only song, the only instance where I've ever heard somebody use the word lycanthropy in a song. I was like, this is amazing. Like, it rhymed and everything.
See what I mean about her being bizarre?
Ask of me, darling, it is no joke. This is lycanthropy. The moon's awake now.
The video, she does this really weird dance that me and my friends just called the vagina slice dance, because it was like she did this cutting motion with her arm, but it was like right over her cooter. And I was just like, this is a weird dance to do. And then there was like the wolf noises that she, ow.
It's so cute.
It's adorable. Vagina slice dance. Everybody go watch the video and then go to the club this weekend and do the vagina slice dance. I will join you.
She's a Mensa genius. A lot of people don't know that about her.
Well, no wonder she said lycanthropy in a song. Of course she did.
So up until this point, we've talked about crossovers. Mainly, like, when a Latino artist crosses over, it means that they started singing English and their songs became big in the U.S.
Right. There's a certain level of conformity that has to happen.
Right. Like, if
Right.
you are a Latin artist that wants to make it big in the U.S., sing your songs in English or, you know. But recently, something very exciting has happened, which is that more and more Latino artists are like, nah, I am singing in the language that I know to be the language of love, and that's in freaking Espanol. And like the first group to do this, or like man/group to do this, is Romeo Santos, and he was part of a group called Aventura, which is bachata music, which is like a classic Dominican
I love
kind of
bachata.
music. And the cool thing about Aventura is they're from the Bronx. Like, they're a bunch of dudes from the Bronx that grew up here. They talk in English, but they sing in Spanish. And their most famous song was a song called Obsesión. Which also, the videos are, like, so good.
Oh, so they're Afro-Latino?
Yeah.
I love the R&B squint he's got. You know, like when the guys like look into the camera, like bite their lip and like squint. That's also known as the light skin face.
Really?
In Black culture, which is not always a great thing. But this is very cute.
So Romeo Santos is like, now he's gone on to his own like incredibly successful solo career. And I went to his concert last year and it was outrageous.
Was it?
Oh
Tell
my
me
God.
everything.
Okay, for the last couple songs, he brought out a bed onto the stage. I kid you not. And took one lucky fan.
Oh my God.
I know. It's like arguably not okay. But it's great. He would keep shouting like to the audience, like, because it was mostly like squealing women, including myself. Like, tonight I'm your boyfriend, and all the women would be like, woo! Yes! And it was the most fun. Oh, the other incredible thing about him that I think is really important is that he sold out Yankee Stadium 2 nights in a row, and the only other person to do that is Paul McCartney.
Ever in history, like ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And like his video for Propuesta Indecente has more views than Drunken Love.
What?
So that's like the flip side of this whole thing about them singing in Spanish, which is that it's amazing because they're able to have that level of success, like sell out Yankee Stadium.
And like breaking records doing it.
And yet, like, if you talk to a non-Latino on the street, they have no idea who he is.
I didn't until you were telling me about him.
I remember 2 years ago, I was walking around. He was on Dr. Pepper bottles.
What?
Yeah. The biggest reggaeton artist right now is this guy, J Balvin. He also said the same thing Romeo said. He was like, you are going to have to cross over to me. And so he just came out with a song that features Pharrell, that Pharrell produced. And it's so good. I'm going to play it for you.
What's it called?
Safari.
Hey.
This is Pharrell. Pharrell has an amazing accent. It's Spanish.
So what I'm hearing is that there are a lot of different ways, at least in reality, to be a crossover artist. It seems like that term is only applied to artists that white people decide they're going to listen to.
Totally.
That's fucked up.
Well, like, yeah, there's also like the flip side of this, which is like, there are like now white artists that are clearly pandering to the Latino community.
Ooh, say more about that.
So like Justin Bieber's Sorry is a reggaeton song. It has a dembow beat. I'm really interested in the fact that like so many people now are accusing Justin Bieber of appropriating.
When it comes to...
They're like, you took dembow, you're appropriating dembow.
Do you agree with that?
I think that taking advantage of a musical genre that was started by a different group and not attributing them and making money when they don't get money is wrong.
Absolutely.
But I also love the song Sorry by Justin Bieber. And like, that's just hard. Like I live with that every day.
Well, I mean, it's at once like you feel the frustration of seeing somebody else get credit for the things that you and your folks have been doing forever. But you also get like the satisfaction and validation that comes with like, you know, by whatever means it happens, by seeing people celebrate, like genuinely celebrate and appreciate the music, the art or whatever that's been born of your culture. So, I mean, it's a very complicated thing. Like, I don't think you should feel like bad or torn about
Thanks,
it.
Tracy.
You're welcome. I feel the same way about Justin Timberlake.
Ooh, yeah. I think it's complicated because the part that bothers me about calling it appropriation is that I think very often then you also deny the fact that the Latino consumer market is powerful. Like, I think it's great when popular U.S. artists sing in Spanish. I think that it really validates for other U.S. people. Latinos don't need validation. We know we're great.
Praise. Yes.
But it like validates the fact that Spanish is important. That it's not just the language that people speak with their family. Like, I think that that's important to a lot of people, is that Spanish be recognized as an academic language as a language that is marketable and mass media. Like, that's the thing. It's like, to me, it's so inspiring that J Balvin and Romeo Santos have been like, no. Like, we're singing in Spanish, and you can either like it or not.
Yeah.
The question now, of course, becomes, like, how do you make it so that more people listen to the music in Spanish?
And also just like the idea of like trends and like what is a thing that's worth listening to and paying attention to. And it's like things don't become a trend until they happen to white people. Things don't become valid until like a white person starts to like read this book or watch this show or listen to this music. And I think that with the phrase crossover, it centers whiteness in a way that makes me appreciate so much what these guys are doing by being like, no, I'm not going to conform to like you and what you want. You know, I'm centering myself, which is what we try to do with the show.
Or even the term, I mean, when you think of the term immigrant, it's almost always someone coming to the U.S., and yet we call Americans that moved to Latin America expats.
It's so crazy how many ways Americans center themselves in the language that they use. And white people especially.
Yeah.
You know, why isn't Justin Bieber considered a crossover artist?
So much of American music would then qualify as crossover music because what do they listen to in Latin America?
Right.
Very often American music. But basically, Latin music rocks.
Yes. And we're all crossovers.
We're all crossovers. I think people should listen to music in Spanish way more often. And I will put a playlist on the newsletter as well.
Yay! Like a musical timeline of Latin migrations and explosions.
Yeah, migrations and explosions is cute.
That's what it should be called. You're welcome. So, really quickly, we're going to play a super fast game where we're going to play Spanish versions of American pop star hit people type singers. And you are going to rate their accents.
Cool.
Just his Spanish accent. All right, next up we have the Spanish version of Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton.
Recuperemos lo que se ha perdido. Regresa a mí. Quédame otra vez.
Oh my God. Okay, so
So it's important to know that you were giggling while you were listening to Toni Braxton singing in Spanish.
she definitely gets like a D because you can't understand a word she's saying.
Is it because of her pronunciation or because of her voice?
No.
Because in this song, she sings like very, very low a lot.
So you're right. So like obviously part of it has to do with like just her normal voice. But I feel like if you listen to Unbreak My Heart, you know what she's saying.
Yeah.
No.
So the words are not the actual words of the original song?
Well, it's like so for instance, like she's saying, the only part I understood was regresa a mí, which is
means return to me, right?
Epa!
Look at me with these Spanish skills. Yeah, that's not how the song is supposed to go.
But it's like also like that's what happens a lot when these translations, like she's not, Unbreak My Heart would be like, I don't even know how you would say that in Spanish because it's not even grammatically correct in
Unbreak's
English.
not a real word, so.
Okay, it would be that day. I can't even, but yeah.
So Toni gets a D.
Toni gets a D, which saddens me
Wah.
because I love her.
Aw, okay. Next up, this is Boys to Men singing End of the Road in Spanish. I know this exists because I had the single, and this was like so on the back was the Spanish version.
No te vas a enamorar. Te faltarían mi amor, mis besos, mi verdad.
Unlike Toni, who like had, you can understand, like they're enunciating, so that's good. Like you can understand what they're saying, but they have like major gringo accents. Like they're not even trying a little bit. So I'm gonna give Boys to Men a C.
See, this is why I don't attempt to speak Spanish in public, because my accent already gets in the way of me just speaking English normally. I know I sound like a fool when I'm trying to speak
Oh,
Spanish.
Tracy, I'll never make fun of you when you're speaking in Spanish.
It makes me happy, but I'm still never going to do it. It feels very appropriate to end this with King Beyonce singing Irreplaceable.
Ya lo ves, amor, esta vez te olvidé. En el closet, en un rincón, están tus cosas, esto se acabó.
How's the accent?
I'm gonna give her an A just because
Because she's Beyonce.
she's Beyonce, but also she says closet pretty well. And that's amazing because, fun fact, closet is not a word in Spanish.
What?
Wait, it's armario, but because we've been so anglicized, we always say closet, and that's the proper way you say closet.
Wow. Go ahead, Beyonce.
Also, there's a norteño remix of this song that is mwah, and I highly recommend it.
We should also put that in the newsletter.
We'll put it in the newsletter.
All right.
Voy a olvidar tu amor. ¿Qué sabes tú de mí? No me hagas reír. Tú creías que era así.
This was fun and informative as fuck.
I missed so many important people, so no one get mad at me. Instead, just tweet at me who I missed,
Yes.
and then I'll be like, yes, you're right, I missed that person.
Yeah. Antonio, where can people find you and follow you and hear more of your ideas about life in the world?
I'm on Twitter at Antonia, Antonia Cere.
All right, everybody follow Antonia, sign up for the newsletter, go listen to some Shakira, and feel better about your life. Yay!
Me verás con otro hombre a mi lado. Ya lo ves, traidor, voy a sustituirte. Voy a olvidar tu amor.
All
Would you
right.
like to kick
yeah.
off the intro?
So
Since it's your husband and everything.
chill. So I'm very excited for our guest today. We've talked about this before, my love for Jane the Virgin.
Yeah.
But we have here today my husband, Jaime Camil.
Yes.
Camil.
I know we've been married for, not for long,
I ain't shit.
but at least we should get we should get our names right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
So my husband is most known in the U.S. for his role as the vain yet somehow totally charming Rogelio de la Vega on Jane the Virgin. He plays Jane's father and major telenovela star. Jaime's done everything. He's put out 2 albums, studied opera, and he's now on Broadway as Billy Flynn in Chicago. What?
Yay! Woo!
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Also, although I should say that I invited myself.
Yeah,
But
you
thank
did.
you.
It's
Thank
okay.
you for replying to my direct message via Twitter, and that you agreed on having me. Thank you.
That's how me and my husband communicate.
So
We slide into DMs.
Exactly.
I feel like there are a lot of confused listeners right now. So tell us the story of how you met, how you fell in love, and what led up to this DM that
Well,
led you here to the studio.
I was working on Jane the Virgin, and thank God a lot of critics were like writing beautiful things about my work and everything, and I was very thankful for that. And then this beautiful piece on BuzzFeed came along, like, move over, George Clooney, whatever. And I'm like, yes, who wrote this? And it was Heben. So I when I came to New York, because this is what I do, I invite myself to places. I invited myself to BuzzFeed because I wanted to do like is it GIFs or GIFs?
GIFs.
The
I
GIFs.
say GIF.
It's GIF.
I wanted to do the GIFs, and the things. And then Heben was working on her station, and I just sneak up on her like, hey, what are you writing now? What are you working on now,
I
right?
was like, what is that smell? Who was nice to me?
I'm sorry, I didn't shower that day.
It smells amazing. And then after that, we got married.
We got married.
Long story
Exactly.
short. So before we all get to know each other as husband and wife, let's get to know a little bit more about you.
Cool.
Tell us a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and why.
All right. My name is Jaime Camil, and I'm an actor, and I act because I love it, and because my mom used to be a singer. Now she paints. She gave me through the umbilical cord the artistic side into my body. And then my dad was a businessman, or is a businessman, so he didn't want me to pursue this career. Of course, I actually wanted to study music at Berkeley. And he was like, what? That's a career. That's a bum career. Music? No. You should pursue something serious. So against my will, I studied business administration.
Really?
Yes.
What was your first professional goal?
My first professional goal, I don't even know. I think I always wanted to be in the entertainment business. Always, since I have memory. And my dad was really pushing for me to pursue business. So he was like, hey, listen, imagine this. We have a new company that it's about medical waste treatment. I'm like, wow, that sounds so
Fun.
Fun.
What? Tell me everything.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Medical waste is, it's, the hospitals cannot throw their trash to the municipal trash or the normal trash. They need to have
like the
special,
biohazard
like
stuff.
biohazards or
Body fluids,
legs
needles.
or.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really.
So you can't throw that in the regular trash.
Oh, no, because you don't want to find like a hand or a finger in your trash. It was so much fun. But then finally I was going out with a girl at the time that told me, no, you should talk to your dad and really like confront him and tell him that you want to pursue entertainment. And I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's what I'm going to do. So I told my dad, we need to talk about this, whatever. And when we got together, I'm like, listen, you told me that men should feel the same happiness as they felt with their toys. Sigmund Freud used to say that. And I don't feel that. I don't feel that in the business side. And I want to be an actor. And I think he thought that I was going to tell him that my girlfriend was pregnant or something because of the seriousness of the talk. So when it was like that, like I want to pursue, is that? Oh yeah, sure, whatever, go. that's not a problem there. But he told me, listen, if you want to shine shoes for a living, that's great. But if I get, in Mexico, we have the Zócalo, which is a main plaza with a big flag in the middle. And there's a lot of shoe shiners there. So he was like, listen, if you want to shine shoes for a living, that's fine. But if I get to the Zócalo and I don't hear people saying, sir, go to that corner, that Camil guy over there in the corner, he's like the best, we're going to have a problem. I'm like, really? Thank you for helping me without putting pressure into the equation.
Super cash. I want to hear more about baby Jaime.
My baby me?
Yeah, when you were a kid.
I was
like,
a little, my mom gave me Valiums to ease me down. And I think that really messed up with my... No, but
let's go there.
I was very hyperactive. Can you tell? I was very hyperactive, and I was a little kid that you hated on planes because he ran from the cockpit to the toilet. And the people were like, somebody strap that kid down. What's this? So that my mom, confessed that she gave me a quarter of Valium for one very long trip, and it knocked me down. And I'm pretty sure it made some permanent damage.
But you got back
I'm
up,
pretty
though.
sure.
So it's all right. Yeah. It's okay.
Look at you now.
You look at me now. Yeah.
So you were a precocious,
I was very
hyperactive
hyperactive
child.
and very hyperactive child, and not very focused on school. I was never focused on school. I was very easily like squirrel, very easily distracted. But I think we made it.
You are a very funny comedic actor. When did you first realize you were funny?
You go with your friends and you go into these like get-togethers, and then you start telling jokes, and you realize that people really laugh at your jokes or the way you deliver the jokes and whatever. And I think you're like, well, okay, cool. That's I think I'm funny.
I mean, that's not always a connection people make.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you make it like very early on in your life?
I don't think I made the connection. That's the thing. I wanted to sing. I wanted to be a singer. And then now I'm really happy, ¿cómo se dice? Assumed? No. I'm looking for the word. Can I say it in Spanish?
Please.
Ya me siento un actor que canta. So I'm an actor that sings. I don't want to be a singer anymore. I understand that that's a tool that works for my career. And for example, I did a movie called Pulling Strings, and my character was a mariachi singer, and they didn't have to dub me. I sang the songs of the character. So
Although it should be noted, listeners, you should look up some of the old albums.
Right?
Please.
They're good, right?
The pictures alone. But also the music.
Thank you.
Para estar contigo me olvidé de todo. Empecé de nuevo, empecé a tu modo.
I wanted to be a singer, and then a friend of mine called me and said, listen, the producer of this soap is looking for the antagonist, for the villain of the thing. Would you like to do it? I'm like, yeah, sure, because, being in Mexico, being on TV helps a lot with getting exposure. And I'm like, great, if I'm on TV, I'm going to sell a lot of records, or I'm going to sell a lot of tours or shows or whatever. So I did it. And then I got another opportunity to act in a movie and whatever. And I think it was life telling me, dude, you should pursue acting. Don't waste your time with the music thing. I did 1 or 2 projects with this classic, like, why haven't you called me? The classic, like, novela, exactly. And then they stay like that for 40 seconds. And I'm like, this doesn't I wonder why I was thinking to myself, this doesn't feel natural. I wonder why. And then the Mambo Kings, 11 years ago, I was going to be an original cast member of an original Broadway show, the Mambo Kings, that got horribly frustrated because the producers went over the budget like $5 million and they had to pull the plug, and it was horrible. So, we were going to be at the Broadway theater, and, Isai Morales and Jaime Camil are the Mambo Kings. And then they took the marquee off, and Oprah Winfrey presents The Color Purple. So that was that dream, yeah. Thank you, Oprah. No. And then they called me and said, listen, we're trying to do a remake of a Colombian story called Ugly Betty, and don't even get excited because you're our fourth choice. Because in Mexico they're like that. They're bullies. They're professional bullies.
I appreciate the realism and honesty.
Yeah, and I don't.
No, okay.
They're like, come on, you can sugarcoat it a little bit, no? And then they're like, okay, we'll let you know. And then nobody wanted to do it because it was at 4:00. They were one of the worst time slot ever in Mexican television or whatever. So I got it, and I needed it because I needed the money and whatever. Because, of course, when they told me you were going to be on Broadway, I thought I was going to be the next Phantom of the Opera, right? I'm like, I'm going to be here for 20 years, walking the Broadway streets with my fucking mask on.
Right.
Hey, And then, boom, the show got canceled. I mean, not canceled, but it got not picked up or whatever. I'm like, okay, wonderful. And then I go and I do the Mexican version of Ugly Betty, and thank God it was like a overwhelming success. Like it broke historical records, rating records in the US, in Latin America. It was great. So my career is before and after La Fea Más Bella.
Nice.
Yeah. Now I remember the point that I was trying to make. So about the comedic thing. So I started to do this, and I don't feel natural doing this type of acting. And suddenly this project comes along, La Fea Más Bella, Ugly Betty, and I'm reading the book, and I'm like, this can't be. This is not serious, right? I mean, this is a joke. This is a joke. This is a comedy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And I'm like, hell yeah, it's a comedy. This cannot be serious. So I started goofing around with the character, like really, really goofing around and doing a lot of slapstick and physical comedy and then after 2 weeks, the producer called me and goes like, listen, we have a big problem with your character. I'm like, what is it? Well, nobody likes it, basically. So either you change, like be serious, a classic, why haven't you called me, you ugly Betty?
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Either you go there, or we're gonna have to kill you, to write your death. And I'm like, no, please don't do that because I need the money. And also, it was a Colombian story. I think the audience is kind of comparing the Colombian thing with our thing. So let us get into the audience bones. Let us just let them understand what we're doing. And thank God, after 2 more weeks, people started to get into it, into the comedic timing and everything. I mean, the comedic tone.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Jane the Virgin.
Let's talk.
The most surprising part about working on Jane the Virgin. What's it been?
I don't know, everything. It's such a brilliant show. And Jenny Ehrman, our producer and showrunner, she's so creative, and she's so luminous, and she's so amazing. It's a fast-paced show that goes from A to Z in seconds.
Right.
If you stop watching the show, even if you're watching the show and you decide to take like a glass of water break or a bathroom break,
You missed so much.
somebody dies. You're like, oh my fuck, what happened?
Yes, a lot is
I was
happening.
gone for 40 seconds. What is this? What? When we first got together and did the first table read for the president of the network, and these, I don't know if you know how this is, but when they pick the projects up to develop the pilot, you have to do a table read in front of 50 people, the director, the casting director, the president of the network, Mark Pedowitz, this, blah, 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 and then you read. And we felt the energy. It was such a powerful energy. So we finished the read and we hugged the 7 principals of the show, Brett, Justin, Gina, Andrea, Yael, Yvonne, and myself. We hugged and we were like, you know what? We have to promise that if something happens with this, if it goes forward or doesn't move forward, we have to promise ourselves that we will always be thankful and we will always keep grounding and we will love this thing that we're doing. And to this day, it's like that. It's incredible. We're super happy to be in a project surrounded by beautiful human beings and
Ridiculously beautiful.
Ridiculously beautiful.
It's a little rude.
Justin Baldoni, hello. But you should know this because the audience should know this. Whenever you see Justin's body, I lend him my body. They Photoshop my body into him.
That is so kind of you.
You're welcome. Hashtag you're welcome. Justin.
So you're on Broadway right now in Chicago as Billy Flynn.
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like the moment before, you're waiting in the wings and the moment before you step out
Well, you should know
onto
the
stage?
process of getting to Chicago. When you are a guest star in the show, they stuff this quantity of information in 10 days. So you have 10 days to do the show. So you get the choreography, the lines, the songs, everything, boom, 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 stuffed into you in a very compressed capsule for 10 days.
That
and
sounds so
then
scary.
that's 8 days, actually. The 9th day, they bring like a member of the ensemble, like a girl, because I'm doing, the Mississippi, the We Watch Reach for the Gun. I'm doing that with my dance capitan, with David Bushman. So
Okay.
I have Bushman on my lap doing the Mississippi, which is like, yeah. And then so the 8th day, you get a girl. You're like, oh, okay, you're lighter. That's nice. Whatever. And then she comes and, when you're like, where you come from, and you have the ensemble behind you. They go like, where you come from, Mississippi, right? But you have like 10 people shouting the where you come from. And that really throws you off when you are rehearsing with only 2 guys on the stage. So the 8th day, you have these women that helps you like throw you what's going to be happening on stage. Then the 9th day, you get a rehearsal with the actual Roxy Hart and with the Amos, with the character Amos. Then the 10th day, which is the day of your first performance, you do like a dress rehearsal, like full talks, microphone, everything, and you go through your numbers.
You just do that once before? Oh
and
my God.
you go through your numbers and through your scenes. And then you wait, and then you rest for an hour and 30 minutes, and then you do the first
I'm
performance.
so stressed out. I'm so
It is stressful. So I can tell you for a fact that I don't remember what happened on the next performance. I started to like, the adrenaline settled in after halfway through the second act. I'm like, all right, I'm here. Oh, there's people there. Nice. I'm on the stage. It's amazing. Yeah, and now after 20 performances or something, I'm starting to like feel comfortable in because now finally all the compressed capsule of information is starting to permeate to your body and to like relax. So now I have not yet, but I have the play in my bones, in my system now. And that helps a lot.
You still get nervous before you step
Of course,
out on the
always.
stage?
Whenever you lose a nervousness, you lose respect for yourself, you lose respect for the audience. If you lose the butterflies before going on stage, and you remember how no, because you haven't seen the play. But the way
Way to rub it in, okay.
The way Billy goes into the thing, remember the girls, we want Billy, give us Billy. So that happens, and what luck, because here he is. And then you go to the stairs and it's everybody here, is everybody ready? So we do that, and before that, and what luck.
That's when
The
it
heart
starts.
goes like,
Oh, man.
and then you have to go out. And that's the difference between using that anxiety to drive you or to say, I'm not going out.
Yeah, that would have been me. Like,
Yeah,
nope, we're done here, everybody. This is the fun part. It's called pew pew pew. These are finger guns.
Okay. Oh, pew, pew, pew are guns.
Yes.
Oh, but they're like Star Wars guns then.
Yeah.
You know,
Pew, 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 pew.
that's just
All
the
of us
only
will be
gun
Batman.
noise that I know how to make. So I've never thought about what kind of gun.
Always own it.
You got to commit, Tracy.
You have to commit.
You're right. I do this every time.
No,
right,
own it.
all right.
Okay.
They're laser
Set up-
beams.
They're laser
guns.
beams. Pew, 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 pew. So this is our rapid fire question segment. I thought that was good.
All right. Let's
I
move on.
That was
committed.
very good. It was very, very good.
Rapid fire questions. Random, fun, funny. Number 1, you smell great. What
Thank
are you
you.
wearing?
Emporio Armani. The
Oh my
story
gosh.
is that I was wearing, I thought I was the coolest cat in town because I was wearing the Bulgari puck, they look like a hockey puck, and I thought that was like the best. And then I ran out of that thing, and I had a little sample of the Emporio Armani, and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna wear it. Every single female that came across me on the street was like, oh my God, you smell so good. Oh. So that was a decision for me to quit using the puck, the Bulgari puck, and go into the Emporio Armani one. Yes.
It works well.
Thank you.
Word on the street is you're friends with Oprah.
Yes.
How do we do that? And how did you do that?
I don't know. I
But
think
more importantly, how do we do that?
Yes.
This is gonna get
Just
even
name drop
even-
all the name drops.
It's
Go
gonna
ahead,
get
go
even worse. Yeah, I'm actually friends of Quincy Jones, and then
Okay.
Oh my God.
and Quincy was, of course, he's like family with Oprah. So Quincy was living in my house in Acapulco because he was writing
He was living in your house?
our families are close, and he was there writing the musical for the Sammy Davis story with Leslie Brickle, whatever, and he was writing there, And he lived there for like 3 months, and then he's like, "Hey, listen, do you mind if I bring a guest?" And I'm like, "No, Quincy, please, this is your house."
What?
Are you kidding
And guess who walked in?
No.
Yeah, so I fainted a little bit, and after 3 hours of putting alcohol into my nose, and I like came to my senses. Oh my God, I'm like, yeah, it's Oprah and Gail, and oh my God, and we're friends now. Yeah.
So he didn't tell you ahead of time that he's inviting Oprah and Gail. He's
No,
just
of course, no.
just
That's how Quincy rolls. he surprises you.
That's how Quincy
surprises
rolls.
you.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry, I should say Q.
Oh my God.
Boom! All right,
Get out of here.
Leave. So you speak 4 languages?
Yeah.
Right? What language do you think in?
I probably think in Spanish. Yeah.
Do you also dream in Spanish? Mostly?
It depends. Sometimes I dream in Spanish, in Portuguese, in English. It's very confusing. And then I get a little confused when I'm on stage because, first, Billy Flynn speaks with a very specific contractions and very specific like lines and this and whatever. And it was difficult to learn. So I kind of like learned the lines phonetically. I mean, I knew the meaning of what he was saying, but it was a little difficult. And now I think I'm like understanding more finally what Billy is saying.
In your like acting training, did you feel like you had to tame down your accent? That's something
for Billy
Tracy and I
Flynn?
have talked to. I mean, just in general.
In general, no. I mean, if I have to tame down my accent, I need to go to a vocal coach and really work on it, and I'm sure it could be accomplished. But in Chicago, for example, the producers have decided since the revival that Billy Flynn is a lawyer that happens to live in Chicago, but he doesn't have to be from Chicago. So I think that's how they get away with inviting several, like a guy from Texas, Eddie George from the NFL, myself. That's how they get away with it probably.
Word.
So you have 2 kids, right?
2 kids, beautiful kids. I'll show you a picture.
Yes, I would love to see your babies. In what ways are they like you? Like what traits,
I think,
personality
you know
traits?
what? Every parent says this about their kids or whatever. But my daughter is just amazing. She's super
How old is she?
sensitive and almost 5. And then I think my son, which is almost 2, he's very funny. He's kind of like funny, and he does these like funny things. And it's so strange because I can see him, I can see the comedic side on him.
Have their personalities surprised you?
Yes, in a very positive and good way. I'm very happy. I have to say that me and my fake wife, not you, my fake wife, we are very committed parents, and we love parenthood, and we're big fans of parenthood. So I think that that translates to our kids. You see well-behaved kids that are not the classic. You see kids in restaurants screaming and kicking, and you see the parents like not doing anything because they are exploring them. No.
Expressing
They're being
themselves.
fucking rude. They're not exploring anything. You have to educate them and guide them through the right path, not let them grow like weed. No, it's like, no, you have to. And we do that with love and with respect and with hugs and with affection and with understanding and with patience. But you have to do it. It's an ongoing job. You never stop. You never stop.
Can you please tell the people where they can find all of your work?
Of course, they can find, well, first of all, follow me on my social media platforms, which all of them are at Jaime Camil, JaimeCamil. All of them. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook.
What about this amazing play that you're in?
Right, what about that thing?
That's Chicago at the Ambassador Theater. I'm going to be there doing every single performance until July 31st. So definitely come check it out. Super cool.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for inviting me that I actually invited myself.
Thank you for inviting yourself.
Yes, my pleasure. I will be inviting myself again.
Please do, please do.
all the time. I'm so glad this actually happened.
Yes.
Me too.
Beautiful. Tracy.
Wait.
Guess what time it is?
It is 4:13 p.m.
That's not true. It's time to buy some rounds.
Oh my God, I thought I knew what time it was and I did it. This clock is wrong.
Dramatic.
Who are you buying around for?
So I would like to buy a round for practical gift giving. So here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
I remember when I was a kid, I was offended at all these Mother's Day commercials that were like, we have a sale on appliances. How dare you? It's like,
That
hey,
is messed
hey,
up.
Mom, we
Mom
know you
needs a
clean
new
everything.
blender.
Here's a way you can do it more efficiently for us.
Uh-huh.
So fuck that. But then as an adult, I was like, yo, I would love a nice blender, though. That would be nice. Anyone want to invest in a nice blender for me? Because I'm not going to do it. So I feel like it shouldn't be like appliance based.
Right.
And that's not the only identity your mother has.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to give people practical gifts, like, I know you need this appliance and it will make your life easier.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of a freaking practical gift.
What's the most practical gift that you have ever gotten or given?
Socks. I also feel like socks are a perfect gift because they're a thing you can invest a little bit in and they're automatically way nicer than just if you invested the same amount you would in
That
a
is true.
practical sense. If you're just living your life and you don't have like a sock budget, you know, you're not living all crazy. But if a
Sock
friend gets you like 2 really nice, soft, like cushioned socks,
I love like the squishy socks.
the squishy.
Like the ones that are made from a material that's way too soft, so you know
Yes.
it's not naturally.
You
Like
know that's not an animal that
doesn't
exists.
come from an animal anywhere. I love
Yes.
those so much.
So I like practical gifts also because people tend to get the nicer one.
Oh,
And I would never indulge in the nicer one because I'm looking for practical things in my
right.
life.
Like when you buy your own socks, it's like
Right.
$23 for $1
20
at CVS.
Are these like
do.
socks for ants? Like, why? How are you getting the 23 bundle?
I mean, you just gotta look out for the sales.
You know what? I'm fucking up. I'm not looking out for the 23 for 1 set. But yes, I'm a big fan of the practical gift, and I'm also a big fan of giving people gifts on days that are not special gift giving days. I like to make a point to be like, hey, friend, I'm never going to give you a gift on your birthday. But
I will
some
give you
random days in the year, I'll be like, I thought of you, and I buy you a
Aww.
thing. So
love
practical gift giving.
Shout out to practical gifts.
Who you buying around for, Trace?
I'm really excited about my round.
I'm listening.
I'm buying around for anger,
Ooh, what?
for the emotion
Oh my God, I'm so in already.
known as anger. I realized that anger is a thing that I and most women and people of color too, any oppressed person, were always like preached to over and over and over again about how you need to let it go. You know, don't
Yeah.
don't let it consume you. Turn the other cheek. Like the best that I've done in my life with my anger up until now is acknowledge that I'm angry and that I feel it. And I've got a right to be angry, blah, blah, blah. And then I immediately set on the work of getting rid of it because it's like heralded as this like corrosive, damaging emotion. But it doesn't have to be. Like some of the moments where I'm most proud of myself in my adult life have been when I like screamed on somebody who really, really hurt
Yes,
me.
go
like
off.
literally screamed. I don't do it often. I have not had many like verbal confrontations,
Word.
like really loud, passionate confrontations with people. Because I always like I've been taught that it's like a shameful emotion, you know? Like if you're emotionally mature, then you can rise above like feeling your anger. No, if somebody fucks you over, if somebody does something to you, you have the right to be angry and they deserve to like hear it and experience it. There should be consequences for mistreating people emotionally. And then after that, if you want to do the work of getting over it and healing and forgiving, sure, do it. But I'm at this point in my life where I feel like I've just discovered like the redemptive properties
of
anger.
Preach, Tracy.
It's like, you know how they say like fire like purifies and like burns away the bad shit. I feel the same way about anger. Like you just gotta like let go and get it out. Oh, and it also reminded me of our interview with Margaret Cho, where she was talking about how she doesn't believe in forgiveness and like she finds like redemption in anger. And when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, she doesn't believe in forgiveness. What would Oprah say? But then I was like, you know what? It doesn't have to be like, if you choose not to forgive someone, it doesn't mean that like there's something wrong or broken in you. It just means that you don't think that someone or something is worth your forgiveness, and your forgiveness is yours to give as you are ready or not ready for it, you know?
Word. I think a lot about how the angry Black women trope affects how I express my anger in a professional, personal setting, in every setting. And I think I too am just learning now how to express my anger and how to feel confident in the fact that it's allowed to exist.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like the fact that women and people of color are told incessantly by the people who oppress us, hey, don't be mad at all the bad shit that happens in your life when they're often the causes of the bad shit that happens in your life.
Poverty builds character.
Right. Get out of my face.
No, I'm angry.
Like, it's ridiculous.
The character I have come to be is angry.
Yeah. I don't even have like fully formed thoughts on this. I want to like sit down and write something about it. But I am in love with anger right now. It feels really freeing to decide to sit and be angry. Because for me, a while, like even up to like a month ago, like I would opt for anger because I don't enjoy feeling sad about stuff. And so if like something sad happens, if I can turn it into anger, then I will, but only long enough to get like past the sad stuff.
Word.
But lately I've been like, you know what? I'm choosing to be angry because I'm angry. And I feel, I don't know, it's just like I have so much agency in that situation. You know, like I may not be able to decide whether or not I'm going to get paid the same as a man for doing the same work, but I can decide when to just like insert my entire self into my anger, and I can decide when to leave.
Oh my God, you're making me try. I didn't plan on crying today. Stop.
This is my favorite game show. How can I make Kevin
Oh
cry
my
today?
God.
I won. Yay.
It's not funny.
It's not. You're right.
Asshole. No, I feel you though. Oh my God.
I feel
you.
Speaking of angry, I feel angry that my anger has been kept from me for so long. Because it's like been locked away in a little box. And like it's a thing that I like tiptoe to engage with like in the dark, in like the deep corner of my mind when nobody's around and they can't like see me, like just sort of like hanging out with my
Tracy,
anger.
stop. You're gonna.
I'm sorry.
Honestly, make me cry. I'm
Anyway.
so angry.
Yes.
And I deny myself this anger all the time.
Yes. And when we deny ourselves anger, it causes problems in so many other like areas of life, you know?
I'm sorry.
You don't let me cry. Oh my gosh.
I feel seen. I feel heard.
Yes, good.
That's exactly how I
good.
felt when I finished watching Lemonade for the first time.
And you know what? If more women and people of color will allow themselves like this moment that we just had, like more of us will be seen and feel seen and heard among ourselves because, yo, everybody's angry. What's the quote? If you're not angry, you're not paying attention. I forget who said it.
It's like the Hotep Bible quote.
Oh my God.
But it's
Hotep
true.
Twitter got me. It is. It's
not
very,
wrong.
very true. It's very, very, very true. So everybody lean into your anger, not in a destructive way, but in like a healthy way, because I think there's a healthy way.
Historically,
to do that.
anger has got shit done.
I mean, yeah. All of
So,
the revolutions and stuff.
Don't sleep on anger.
Right. I love it when white people be like, "Oh, turn the other cheek," and then you open up an American history book and it's all war. Are you kidding me?
Fuck out of here, bruh.
Right.
You ain't never turned the other cheek. First of all,
Ever. And you want us to turn the other cheek because you know if we don't, you on the other end of these problems, which you do not want.
You don't want these hands.
You don't want none of them. So anyway, shout out to anger. Anger is okay. Don't feel bad or ashamed for being angry when life is unfair and people piss you off and make you mad. You're allowed to be angry. You're allowed to feel whatever you feel.
Shout out to angry women.
Shout out to angry women. Shout out to drinking, cussing, smoking, baseball bat swinging, ain't having none of your shit.
Yes.
First of all, that's what you're not going to do, talking ass women, because we are the ones who get shit done. That's Maria.
Oh, Tracy.
We did it.
I had no idea where that was going, to be honest. Even though I know what happens when the credits happen.
Thank you to Jaime for stopping by and chit-chatting with us. You can catch him on Broadway in the play Chicago for a few more weeks. And you can catch him on Jane the Virgin. And my sources tell me that season 2 just dropped on Netflix. You can get on top of that. Thanks to Antonia for teaching us all about Latin music. And thanks in advance for the playlist that she's going to make for us to put in the newsletter.
Shout out to the Pod Squad.
Pod Squad. Yes.
I'm coming up in the world.
Look at you. I don't know why I'm so gassy today. I'm sorry. Oh.
I love the way you say so gassy.
I'm so gassy.
I'm so gassy.
So gassy. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it tickles me so much.
This episode was produced by Eleanor Kagan and Antonia Cerejito, with production help from Julia Furlan and Meg Kramer. Love y'all. Thanks to Paul Ruest at Argo Studios. Thank you to our in-house musicians, Miss Jean Gray. You can follow her on Twitter at Jean Greasy. And Don Will of the Almighty Tanya Morgan. You can follow him at DONWILL.
Tracy,
I don't know
what just happened?
Sometimes it comes out and I just wasn't prepared
You've
for
had
it.
like one sip of your drink.
That's a good solid 4 sips. It's gone.
I'll say 3. I'll give you 3. Shout out to Tracy, 3 sips. Clayton.
Oh, whoa. Yo, if anybody tweets me calling me 3 sips Clayton, I will delete my Twitter
don't do that.
account.
That sounds horrible. Just
dishonor on me, dishonor on my cow.
Respect her name.
Put some respect on it. You right.
We gotta chill.
Thank you to the heaven.
Thank you for making me cry in the best way.
Hey, you're welcome.
I feel seen, honestly.
Aw, I'm so glad. There you go, make me cry.
Okay, stop. We gotta stop. Follow Tracy at Brokey.
Who?
Follow Tracy at Brokey McPoverty, which we are earnestly trying to fix.
Listen, I've been praying on it. I've been praying. And follow Heaven on Twitter at Heaven Rants. Heaven like the place in the sky up in the clouds, and rants like the thing that white people do.
That I can't do without being called an angry black woman.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Bloop, bloop.
Heaven, how do you like the newsletter so far?
It's excellent.
Yeah.
I honestly click all the links.
Me
even though I
too.
helped to make it.
I'll wait until it gets sent out on Friday. So when y'all open up y'all newsletter, I'm opening mine up
It's like,
too.
ooh, look at that vine.
I know. They're so good. They're so good. If you too would like to get this little slice of joy in your inbox, you can do it, and you can do it for free. Oh my gosh. Limited time only. By limited time, I mean forever. Go to BuzzFeed.com/anotherround/newsletter to sign up. It's great. You won't regret it.
Also, check out other BuzzFeed podcasts like Internet Explorer, The Tell Show, and BuzzFeed's Politics podcast, No One Knows Anything.
Which is the best name for a politics podcast.
So
ever.
painfully true.
Also, get some Another Round merch. You can go online and get you a t-shirt, get you a mug at shop.buzzfeed.com.
Hit us on the buzz at Twitter and Facebook at Another Round. Email us, anotherround@buzzfeed.com. And rate us on iTunes, leave a review, nominate us for a Nobel Peace Prize, nominate us for a Peabody, nominate us for all the
Pulitzer.
awards.
Can you nominate someone for a Pulitzer?
I don't know. I think we'd have to do more reporting. We can bring back this African-American life.
Which we should do.
We can bring back the segment known as Our Lawyers Will Not Let Us Call This African-American Life. Drink some water, y'all.
Tell your man, call your mom. Listen, I got such a good tweet. She was like, hey, one day, some of us are raised by single dads. Some of us were not raised by moms. Like,
Word, we see
feel
you.
included too.
We see you.
Drink some water. Take your meds. Call your person. Call your support system.
Call your support
person.
system.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love you so much.
Toodles.
Bye. Put some respect on it.
That was incredible.
Just once. Can we find a way to finally make it right?
I don't know what you're singing, but it sounds incredible.
Oh, black man music. What song is that? I only heard it on a commercial for